So far, what's happening? So far, we're able to add a photo from the library. So far, we are able to add a photo from the photo library, whether it be the simulator or the device, we're able to add in a photo from the photo library. Awesome. The next thing we want to do is access the user's camera. So the next thing we want to do is access the user's camera. To verify here, let's go back to, okay. To verify here, let's put that back here and run this on my device. I'll run on my device and verify it's also able to select a photo from the photo library, then we'll go to the camera. If you don't have an iPhone, please work with somebody who has an iPhone. I think 80% of people have iPhones here. Okay, so if I click on, this is my device, if I click on photo library, I'm able to go to photos here, I'm able to select a photo, and the photo appears on the device as well. So this is great. The next step is to use the camera. Let's get access to the camera. No, yeah. Persist is actually the backbone of this lecture. Like ideally, the big thing we want to do is be able to access the camera, be able to access the photo library, and then we'll persist. Cool. Okay, let's keep going, guys. Let's go to add, yes? Sorry, say that again. Guys, sorry. Let's keep the silence level at a minimum. Oh, you mean you want to put the app on your phone? Aaron, please work with Julia. She wants to get the app on the device. Thank you. All right, so let's move on here. So far, we were able to show the photo library. We have our completion handler here. It shows the photo library. Let's do something very similar with the camera. I'm hearing more whispers than anything else. Okay, so on our camera action, let's add a completion handler on there. So on our camera action, I'm inside the Add Picture button pressed. I'm inside Add Picture button pressed. I'm on my camera action. It's a UI alert action. It has a function that takes a closure here. I'll pass in my closure, and I'll pass in some variable name here called alert action. We'll do something very similar. We'll call our show, and this time we want to say true. So we want to show the image controller, and we want to say the camera was selected. Again, this action will not show up on the simulator. So there's nothing for us to worry about there, because we're taking care of that code already. We're taking care of the code right here. If it is the simulator, it won't show. Or if the device does not have a camera, it won't show. Yes, thank you. Put weak self as well. Where am I? Photo action. Camera action. Thank you, Tanya. So let's break any strong references here. And okay, cool. Let's go down to our show image controller. But we're changing the variable name, or the argument we pass in. All right, so for our camera, let's see what we have. So if the camera is selected, great, we show the camera. Great. If you have a device, if you do not have a device, please work with somebody with a device, because I'm about to show us what's going to happen if we omit something from this. Okay. Again, if you don't have a device, work with somebody with a device. Please, please, please. Both of you guys don't have devices? Work with somebody with a device. There's 80% of people here with devices. Let's get along, guys. Come on, community. Let's go, let's go. We're making apps for devices, not simulators. Look at that, a whole extra phone. The onboarding process will take longer. Just sit with somebody for a device. But nice. I'll take that extra phone too, Mel.
quick. This is not, like, this is when it was plugged in. I don't even know what kind of errors it
You
is.
need to go here and change to your team, to your name. Okay, we all have a device next to us, correct? Yes? Okay. Come on, sit together. My name is Ian. My name is Margiette. Hello, nice to meet you. Do you have a phone? Work with Luba for now. Do you have a phone? What is the error?
She's having like I think one of the errors,
Did you change the bundle identifier? Change the bundle, press enter.
I changed the bundle identifier to her input.com. Oh, there you go. Okay, good.
Can we continue?
I just changed the bundle identifier to her. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's run the app. Guys, let's run the app on a device. Let us run the app on a device. Run the app on your device. Okay. At this point, select the camera. Select camera. Oh. Did that show up for you? Did it show up for everybody?
Yep.
Okay. Somebody fixed that already. Let's do that again. I actually, no, the project has the project is updated already for the info plist. Let's show this when it doesn't have it. Let's come back, let's rewind a little bit. I sent out a starter project. The starter project already has the key we need. Okay, let's delete the key and re-add the key. Everybody, really pay attention here, people. Really pay attention here. Let's go to the info plist. Go to the info plist.
Yeah.
Go to the info plist. Do we see privacy camera usage?
Yes.
Click on it.
Where do we see that?
Info plist. Go to info plist and click. Do we see privacy camera usage?
Yeah.
Click on it and delete it. Delete it by selecting the delete button.
Don't worry about it.
Okay? And run the app again. It might be in the settings though. Let's see. It might still persist in the settings.
It still works.
We might have to delete the app. No. That's fine. I want us to see that because if we don't see it, we will have problems when we work on our own app. 1 second. Let me test it myself. Oh, do all of them like that? Like ready to go? All right, that should work at this point. Okay. Delete the app from your phone. Delete the app from your phone. Delete the app from your phone because I want us to see what's going to happen if we do not have the key in the info plist. When you work on a new project, by default, you won't have the key already in your info plist. So what happens when you work on your lab this afternoon and you're like, oh, my app crashes, what do I do to fix that? So delete the app from your device. Delete the app from your device. Delete the app from your device and remove the key from your info plist. Okay? I need to have a reminder. Make sure your info plist is clean before you push or start a project. Cool? Run the app again. Run the app again. It's a brand new app, no photos, correct? Brand new app, no photos. Click on the add button and click on the camera button. At that point, your app should crash. Does it crash? Okay, so let's see what the crash is, and then we'll fix it. Okay. Everybody, please. So here we have an error in our console. It says this app has crashed because, not every day you get an app like a crash like that, but it says explicitly this app has crashed because it attempted to access privacy-sensitive data without a usage description. The app's info plist must contain an NS camera usage description key. Okay, everybody? You'll get that app anytime you create a new project and you try to access the camera, you'll get this crash. To fix that crash, I need to take the key and go add it in the info plist. The best way to make that work is to copy. Do everybody see NS camera usage description in the console? Did your app crash, Melinda? Did you delete the app? Did you remove it from the info plist? And you run it, and is your camera action calling show camera? Okay, that's fine. But in the afternoon, if you do get an error, see how to solve it here. Okay? All right, so let's continue. For people where the app crashed, did your app crash, Amini? You didn't delete explicitly? Okay. All right, so take the NS camera usage key, everybody, right? Copy the key. Copy the key, and let's navigate over to our info plist. Navigate over to your info plist. The reason why I'm doing this is because for us to get used to adding this to our info plist, right? So navigate to your info plist. At the very top, do we see the add button at the very top? Click on the add button, and the key that you copied, paste it in and press enter. The key that you copied it from the console. NS camera usage description. Paste it into the box here and press enter. At this point, you'll see privacy camera. Let me open that up a little bit here. You'll see privacy camera usage description come up as a key. And for the key, you need to give it a value. Like, what is the app using the camera for? Here, you could be explicit with what you're doing. For our example here, where it says value, I'll double click on value, and you'll put in some string that you want. So we'll say image picker. Let me zoom in here. Oh, that's it. We'll say image picker. Or please allow image picker needs access to the camera for taking awesome photos. You can put in any string you want here. Basically, it tells the user what the camera is used for. Okay, at this point, we are good. We could run the app again. So this is the key value you need in your dictionary. NS usage description and a string describing what the camera is used for. So I run the app again. Let's run it again. This is a huge phone. So here I click on my add button. I click on camera. And I'll get the dialog. You got the dialog before, right? Because the thing was already in there. But here, you get a dialog saying, image picker would like access to your camera. And the string that you put in is that last string here. Image picker needs access to the camera for taking awesome photos, whatever it is. And when at this point, the user could click don't allow, or the user could click OK. If the user clicks don't allow, you need to explicitly, when the app runs again, to see if it was unauthorized, to prompt the user to go change settings again. Okay? The minute the user says don't allow, you're on your own. Okay? You're on your own. It's up to you as a developer to say, okay, the user is not allowing access to the camera. You could prompt them again for access, as we see with many apps that we use. So we'll say okay, right? We'll all smile. We'll take a photo. We'll say use photo. And it populates in our collection view. Okay? Yes? Awesome. Does it work for all device owners? Device owners, does it work for you? Right? So Majed, yours has an error. Is there an error or is just not populated? What's the error? Eric? You cannot go back. Make sure in your did select info you have the dismiss there. Do you have dismiss in your did select info? And make sure your selected image equal to image. Antonio, when you get a sec, double check Majia's computer. Thanks, bud. Okay, so two things were working so far. First, we got the photo library to work. Second, we got the camera to work, correct? Okay. Yes. Oh, yeah, Majia. Any other question? Guys, lower the volume. You trying to... Any other questions? The things we want, right? We want it all. 1 second, we're not persisting yet. Question is, are we persisting yet? No, we're not persisting yet. We will persist now. I think we should be able to persist before lunch because we have the classes in place there. There was a question. Yeah, Howard. Guys, I can't hear Howard. That's an Apple question. Sometimes it boggles my mind too. So Howard's question was, for the photo library, why is there no dialogue? I asked myself the question same time. Why we accessing the camera, we have some dialogue, but the photo library, we could just access at will.
Wait, so does that mean that like Instagram and Facebook, they just do that like to give
The same thing we did here. Yeah.
like they don't need to put that because they
The dialogue not for the photo library.
So there could be some code in the background when you open an app that's access to your photo?
At some point, something is going to happen, and then they'll have some dialogue. Right? Again, reactive, not proactive. Right, everybody? Cool, Howard? Does that answer your question? Okay, great. I think when you save in two, you need access. Because you could save the image locally to the photo library. That's when you'll need the access. Like if you want to write to the library, but not read from the library. All right, cool. Okay, so great. What's the next step we want to do? The easiest thing for us to do now is persist. And then when we come back, we will delete. Because no question is asked like, how can we delete? Well, we cannot delete yet because we're not persisting. But let's persist first. Let us persist. Everybody with me? Yes? Okay, yes, sir.
If the user should select don't allow, what are the steps necessary in order to gain that?
You have to get access to the settings and then send the user to the settings of the application. It's about 3 lines of code or so.
I'm just wondering, as a programmer, what is the code that
Let me show you that real quickly. So Cameron's question is, if the user said don't allow, how do you get them back to settings? Everybody? Okay, so settings, allow Swift, camera, not this. There's a go to settings function, if granted, Guys, 1 second. Go to settings, don't allow camera. Go to settings. If anybody finds it before I do, slack it out. Go to settings. Allow user to change permission. Swift. Okay, that looks good. Something like that, very similar to this. Okay, so this would be. Add settings. This would be very similar. So something very similar to this. Let me stack it out. Okay. So it will be something very similar to this. Cameron, let me zoom in some more here. It will be something very similar to this. You present some sort of alert that when they click on the, either it's like cancel or OK or settings, whatever it is, when they click on settings, it will take them to the settings here, which is a UI application open settings URL of the particular application. And it will take the user directly to your settings page, which should be very similar to, let's get back here. So this app has a settings page here, for example. It will take the user directly to my apps here, image picker here. So it will take them directly to that settings screen. Everybody? Right, so the code I just slacked out, if the user does not allow, you check to see first, right? You have some function when it loads. If the authorization is no, or whatever it is, there's some dialogue like an alert controller you present. You present an alert controller with a button that takes them directly to the settings page of the application. And that code lives right here on that page I just slacked out, right? You present them a dialogue, they click on it, it takes them back to the settings here. Like now, right now you see its camera is on, it will be off, and then they would have the opportunity to turn it back on. Cool?
Does that mean like other populists like allow
Guys, 1 second. Go ahead.
so like other like preferences like allow notifications and stuff
Mm.
from the
Yes.
you do it through the populist and show up there. Just like for that?
You mean for permissions?
Yeah.
Like locations, everything? Yeah, that's where it goes, in the info list.
And it just ends up happening over here. You don't have to code or anything.
No, there's no code in there. But the coding that's involved is the coding if, as Cameron was asking, if they do not allow it.
Okay.
Like for example, your app is a locations app, and the user said, don't allow location, right? But your app relies on it. So you have to make a check to see, is it authorized? If it's not, then take them back to settings. Cool? Very good. Awesome. So let's continue on here. Where are we? Okay, so we said we want to do persistence, right? That's a big thing, the big ask. And we have 12 minutes. Let's see if we could do it. We have the file manager classes, so I think we could do it. As far as like saving, I think we could get to that point. So let's go to our view controller. Let us go to our view controller. Who wants to tell me where to do the saving part of it? When it's a pending to. Okay, that's a good place to start. So let's look for our pending function, a pending. We could do it the same place did set, but we don't have it there, right? So we go to append new photo. So here we have the actual object, right? On line 44, well, for me it's line 44. But wherever we created that object, we could insert it here, right? Correct, everybody? But we'll do it at the very bottom here to keep it clean. So we'll say persist image object to documents directory. Okay. It's a bit ambitious for me to do all this because there's some new things I want to show us too. But here we're going to persist the image object to documents directory. We'll come back to that, but first I want to get a data persistence instance. On Friday, we did everything using a static class, but here I want to use an initializer. I want to use an initializer that initializes some data persistence object with a file name. Okay? So let's see what that looks like. Was there a question? Okay, so let's go to the top of our variables list here, and let us create a data persistence object, which we instantiate using our persistence helper. Did I change it yet? What do we have here? And we have file name. File name will pass in images.plist. Okay, we could have many persistent layers. Like for example, we could save images our app might have books, whatever it is. So we create an instance of a data persistence layer object. And that data persistence object, will use it throughout our view controller. Right? One of the reasons why I'm introducing this model or that design pattern is because at some point we'll want to have some sort of delegate on our persistence, right? Like when I have multiple tabs, like for example, your lab, right now you probably have a view will appear or something, reload data on something. But ideally, in a best practices world, multiple tabs, you might want to have some delegate object listening to changes on your data persistence. When something got added in some tab, update the other tab. How does that work, right? The way it will work is using delegation. I'm not going to show delegation at this point, but we'll see it in the afternoon. Right? Maybe not with this data persistence, but with our scheduler app coming up on Thursday. Right? Preview to what the scheduler app will look like. Actually, I think I have it here. Let's see. Scheduler. There it is. Wait. Okay, this is the scheduler app, right? This is what we're building on Thursday. I have two tabs. When I do a change on my first tab, how does the second tab get information? Right now, with what we know, how would we do it? Go ahead. A segue. Well, the scheduler kind of segue to the completed. They're two different. They're not on the same. Anybody else want to? So Tiffany was saying segue, but schedule doesn't segue to completed.
How are we doing what?
How do we pass data from schedule?
Oh, we have to save it so I use the default. So you have to save it and then we have to access it over the next time.
User defaults is one thing, but we know we're not saving complex objects in user defaults. And how would you update completed? Like how would completed know that you, for example, swiped laundry? Like I finished with laundry. Laundry now is completed. I want laundry to show up in completed. Like this right now. What's that? Friday. Oh, you mean like with the data structure stacks?
Kind of like how you add it, it's being added to the roles over into your
Something similar to that, but not exactly, right? We're looking for more like a design pattern. Like what design pattern would you use for this? Like how would you pass data from A to B? Yes, sir.
Are we going to
Create, read, update, delete, something like that, right? So I remove something here, I want to update it on my next view controller.
Yeah.
How do I do that? How do I pass that data? Amini, any ideas? Okay, separate P list. And how would that P list update this guy? Mm-hmm. And then the real-time change, like when I delete this, for example. The did set on the view controller. Right, so when we get here, but at that point, it doesn't update its table view. Like the did set wouldn't reload the table view, right? There's a next mechanism we would need for that. Did set is not enough.
This is more of a question. I noticed in the slide right, it says complete.
Yeah.
If you change the normally slide left.
Yeah, that's a different question. We'll get there when we get there Thursday. How do you change the delete to completed? Yes, sir.
Does the object itself have like a property called like stats completed or not? Like doing it?
As Amini was saying, Amini is on the right point, right? So Amini is saying we have two data persistence layers. One data persistence for our schedule, and we have a next one for completed, right? So when I delete from object A, object B inserts in its own property list.
I guess what I'm saying is like, are there two different like arrays or something that's happening here?
There's two different arrays, but I want to update the, like, instead of doing a view will appear, for example, I want to automatically notify the view controller of an update, right? So that would use custom delegation for, right? That would use custom delegation for, and at the end of the day, we have two tabs. Both tabs have the same parent, right? Both tabs have the same parent, being a tab controller, and the tab controller says, Instance A, you get a data persistence. Instance B, you get a data persistence. They're both the same data persistence, for example. But at the end of the day, the data persistence has a delegate object on it. When data got appended, reload my collection view, right? When data got removed, reload my collection view, or whatever it is, okay? That's what we'll see. That's why I'm introducing to us right now this data persistence that is not a singleton. On a singleton, you cannot have delegation pattern, okay? Everybody with me? If I have my singleton on it, I cannot have a delegation pattern, right? So it needs to be an instance here, not a singleton instance. Okay? We'll come to that on Thursday, but that's just like a preview of what's going to happen. Okay? All right. That was a bit of a tangent, but just letting you know what's coming up. So here on line 19, we have a data persistence that we instantiated as an images.plist file. So this is good. Now we could use it. This is a simple app. We have one tab. You have more tabs. How do I update other people about changes? Okay? Right now, with our lab, it's easy because we have a singleton. We could simply say, singleton, get me whatever in my view will appear, or whatever I want to do there. Okay? But if you have to have some sort of delegate or whatever on that, it becomes more complicated to set up. Okay? So Thursday, we need coffee there. What's that? Oh, you said yes? Okay, so data persistence, great. Let's keep going. Where are we? Right here. So data persistence, dot, what do we have on that? Create, and we pass in image object. For now, image object. For now, I'll simply just say try here, like this. Not on every try you have to put a do catch, for example. Here we could simply say try. If something goes wrong, the app will crash. Here there's nothing that should go wrong with our create method. But this is one way to have like your try statement. But keep in mind, this is the same, almost the same as saying a do catch here, like this. Yeah.
You got me, basically.
Did I?
Yeah, you have the event.
Do I create event?
I don't want to say that.
We'll update all that if we have the time today. We'll make the whole thing generic. That's the point of it. By the third time we do this, we want to change it to a generic. So I could almost do it now, but I'm not going to do it now. Okay, so here we can just simply print save an error. Okay, so this line or these lines of code adds the create. Let's just change this actually. I like the create event as you guys saying here. Just refactor it and say create item. So refactor, go to your persistence helper in your create right here. Just refactor it to, item. Okay. We just refactored create event to create item. You could leave it as create event for now, if that's okay with you. You didn't even take it everywhere, sorry. All right, create item, that's it. So that adds it to our documents directory. So that's the saving part of it. Now we need to do the retrieving part of it. Where should we do the retrieving part of it? The where? Where should we do the retrieving? Did set? Let's see. Did set? No, we're not doing delegation right now. When we load in, so in viewed load here, in viewed load, we need to have some sort of function that says private function load image objects, for example. Right? And image objects, how do we load image objects? We have a do catch here. And we could try on our data persistence, say load objects or load right. And this becomes image objects equal to this. and print loading objects error, and here we put in an error. Okay, and as Cassandra is saying, maybe in the did set, but here for now we'll have our viewDidLoad call this method. So viewDidLoad calls the method, it calls load objects. If we have objects, it will populate the collection view. So in our viewDidLoad, we call in load image objects. And on our image objects, this is all fine. The thing is just going to get reloaded, and we are good to go. Yes, sir.
So when we're updating our image objects in the property list, like the appending photo, do we
Go ahead.
do that in a separate thread, like dispatch queue or something?
Is that, no. There's no asynchronous call. Everything is like synchronous. There's no background thread there. Cool. So we don't need to like dispatch back to main, if that's the question there. Cool. It's like file IO. There's no waiting there. Yes, Chelsea? Forget about the question mark for now. I'll talk about that later. But for now, no question mark. Just use do catch. Okay? But the question mark is almost like a bang in a sense. Like if you know for sure this is not going to error out, you could just simply use the try question mark. Does that make sense? Actually, the try question mark is better than the try bang. The try bang will crash. The try question mark will not crash, but you won't get an error message. Okay, so load images. Let's go ahead and test this out. And then, wow, we're almost there. Let's test this out. Test. My beautiful photo is gone. Okay. A smile. Hello. Wow, love the audience. Use photo. Not yet. We gotta stop and run again to verify. So stop it. No. Don't say that. Stop and run the app again. And let's see if it persists. Ah, look at that. So it persists, right? Awesome. So we were able to create, we were able to load. Yes? Great. I think you guys are ready for your lab. No more lecture, right?
Ready for lunch.
But how about delete? You see that? Always delete. So we'll come back in the afternoon. We will introduce a new topic again. How should we delete this? Anybody? Any hints? Long hold. This guy says long hold. It does long hold in iOS. We'll do long hold. Anybody else? Swipe. Okay, Tinder. We're not going to swipe to delete, but we could swipe. So we're going to long press, okay?
Yes, there we go.
We're going to long press, according to Mr. Long Hold here. So in the afternoon, we'll introduce long pressing. We'll introduce long pressing. So we long press on the cell. It shows some sort of action sheet with like a delete button or a cancel button. And when we click delete, the thing should go away. Okay? So we'll show that in the afternoon. Cool? Awesome. Yes, there's all those things you could do, all the fancy things. In the one long press, you could add like save image, you could add share, but we're not going to do sharing today. That's a bit ambitious there. But we're going to do long press. If we do long press, you could do sharing yourself. It's like a couple lines of code. All right, cool.